folks, it is 7 p.m. We're in front of the Powell Museum and official visitor center. And just up here at the manhole earlier today at about 3:15, we started getting water gushing out of the manhole. It then came, covered this whole area, flowed down the street, and kept going in the gutter. During this time, all of the cleanouts and sewer drains that were in the building also started flowing, and the toilets overflowed. Right now we've got everything taped off and are letting some air in. I'm going to duck in and show you some of the extent of the water damage that ServPro is coming to start taking a look at. We'll start with the river running exhibit. You can see that there is water that is breached through this wall from the furnace room into the main area, all into the geology room. This continues around the display, under the display, to the other side, under the big map and the posters they're on right now. The Powell Expedition Room and dioramas seem to be spared, and full disclosure, it seems that there has been significant, maybe tremendous damage to the carpet because all of this is black water, sewage, and significant damage to the baseboards and drywall in many places. But as far as we know, absolutely zero damage to any of the collections or the inventory. We're going to keep moving through the museum wing of the building. Here's a second look at the water damage in the geology room. All of this baseboard and presumably some of the drywall has been contacted with the black water. It's starting to bubble. As we move into the paleo and archae area, we do have a floor drain here that has leaked. To the best of our knowledge so far, everything underneath this display is dry. Everything in this area is dry. The paleo exhibit butts up against the restrooms that are on the other side of this wall. In fact, this trap door leads to the men's room. That is how these exhibits are accessed by the curator. All of this water breached from the bathrooms. All of these cabinets in the immediate vicinity were also wet, and I imagine all of the handouts in there as well. This side seems to be dry. And as we move into the trading post, oh, thank you. Kirk's gonna hit the lights for us. Excellent. All of this is wet as it is seeped through from the bathrooms. Behind is wet. The famous concrete block doesn't seem to have absorbed any water. And as far as I know, all of this area in the trading post is dry. But here in the long room, we had water breach from the furnace room. The furnace room, which I won't walk into right now, was under ankle-deep sewer water as it was coming up from a drain on the other side of the wall here. Water came about as far out as here. Unfortunately, all of the collections and items were properly stored above any sort of immediate flood damage. Let's keep going in here. I'm going to step out to the back of the building for a moment. The sewage problem continued and drains here, as well as down there in the city lot. We're also overflowing. Water is still standing here. All of this was flooded and was coming from that same drain that we started looking at just a few minutes ago. The furnace room, or this side utilidor, is currently locked, but water came all through here, flowing out of it, and had to be swept and vacuumed out. Let's go back into the museum and we'll check out what the retail and office side looks like now that you've gotten a good view of what the museum wing looks like. This is intentionally aimed towards the ground because that's where most of the damage can be seen. If you'd like to see the exhibits, please come join us. So, planning out how to start moving, removing, staging, and relocating a lot of the collections in retail at the moment. Water damage from the toilets overflowing came out to about here by the secondary contact counter. This restroom was flooded. Sewer water contacted every wall, all the cabinets, and all the contents inside now sitting on the floor. All of this, just in to the edge of Sherry's office, I believe. It had dried up a little after I got here. Was contacted by sewer water. All of this has been touched by black water. To say again, all of the inventory and all of the collections are safe. Some of the more sensitive items from humidity, like the rugs, especially from the Blair collection, are going to be removed this evening so they don't have to deal with the humidity. ServPro has been contacted and I'm waiting on them for a plan. I'll give you more updates as I get them.